What do you think about when you think about reliable engines? A lot of you will probably think about Toyota's engine lineup, especially their 90s Camrys and Corollas, which are known to be quite indestructible. This guy on YouTube literally drained his 90s Camry of any oil at all and then drove it to get an oil change. It's a pretty fun video, I'll link it down below. A lot of you will probably also think about Honda and their engine lineup, especially their 4-cylinder K-Series motors, which are super common nowadays, and also their J-Series V6 motors, which are surprisingly reliable. This Honda Accord went over 700,000 miles on its original V6 motor. And some of you might think of an old farm truck like the Cummins that is found in older 90s Dodge trucks. That one is known to be especially reliable. Well, either way, when speaking on reliability, you never really hear many people mention Volkswagen motors in specific. Now, that's not to say Volkswagen vehicles can't be reliable. I mean, look at the title of this video. But Volkswagen doesn't really have the best reputation for reliability. In fact, my own Mk6 GTI has a surprisingly long laundry list of items that should be taken care of if you want the car to live a long and happy life. In fact, I actually made a whole video about it. I'll link it down below. And on top of my own experience, if you look at reliability scores by brand, sure, the lists vary with which manufacturer is in which place, but most of the time out of the top 20 manufacturers, Volkswagen doesn't show up on the list at all, somehow showing up behind companies like Ford and Jeep in terms of unexpected repairs. However, Volkswagen did have one of the most overlooked lineup of motors that will outlast even some of the fiercest of their competition, and you can still buy vehicles with these motors in them today, albeit they're a little bit old now. This is Volkswagen's TDI lineup from the late 90s into the early 2000s. I'm sure this is not news for a lot of you Volkswagen enthusiasts out there, but for those of you who don't know, these motors are known to be bulletproof. Specifically, a lot of these engines are referred to as the ALH engine, which I've talked about on this channel before, because I actually bought a car with one. But there are other famous TDI engines as well, which are very similar, like the BEW. Nowadays, most people remember Volkswagen's TDI engines from Dieselgate, where VW cheated the emissions on their diesel vehicles to perform well on emissions testing, but pollute much more while under normal driving conditions. But these engines we're talking about today were released before the Dieselgate scandal, and back then, diesel emissions were not so strict, which really helps with reliability on a diesel. Now, for Volkswagen, these late 90s and early 2000s diesels were some of the best motors that Volkswagen had ever produced. As I keep saying, these motors have been proven to stand the test of time, and even further than that. These vehicles are known to easily reach mileage of over 300,000, if not 400,000 easily, and it is really not that uncommon to see vehicles touch 500,000, 600,000 miles. But the reason you won't see many 500+ thousand mile TDIs on Facebook Marketplace is because the very car that surrounds the engine disintegrates before the engine dies. If you know anything about Mk4 Volkswagens, well, the rocker panels and fenders like to rust out a little bit. But on top of this reliability, the TDI motor can reach upwards of 40 to 50 miles to the gallon easily. But of course, you do have to put diesel in them, which is technically, yes, more expensive than just regular gasoline. But if you do the math, that 40 to 50 miles to the gallon makes up for it, and overall it is better gas mileage. But it also turns out that the fact that these motors are diesel is a huge part of what makes them so reliable. On average, a similarly spec'd diesel motor is much more reliable than a gas motor. That's why electric trains use diesel generators. In fact, most electric generators are diesel generators. Another factor in reliability is the fact that diesels do not typically rev as high as gasoline engines, with the ALH and BEW TDI motors only reaching around 5,000 RPM max, which is actually quite a lot for diesels. Most diesels don't go above 3,500 RPM. But since there aren't as many revolutions per second, there is less wear on the motor over its lifespan. Comparing a diesel and a gasoline motor, diesels actually make more torque on average, so the internals of diesel engines are typically beefed up a little bit, with thicker, stronger components to survive that extra torque. And these thicker components typically add to the reliability. On average, diesels also run cooler than gasoline engines, so they experience less heat stress. And the reason they actually run cooler is because they are more efficient, which is also the reason they get better gas mileage. But sometimes just being a diesel isn't enough to guarantee reliability. So what are the other factors that make these late 90s to early 2000s Volkswagen diesels so reliable? Well, keeping these engines running well is pretty inexpensive. They basically only need oil changes and regular timing belt services, just like any motor. In fact, when I got my TDI, I could tell that it had never been serviced with 280,000 miles. But despite all this, it was running pretty well with no check engine light. All it had was a few fuel system leaks and a clogged up EGR, which I took care of by replacing the leaks with a $20 gasket kit and replacing the EGR system with a pipe for $30. And I also did an oil change. But other than that, the car is running pretty well now. These motors are also extremely simple. The fuel system is just a singular pump that just sucks the fuel right out of the tank and is driven by the motor itself. So if the motor's running, the fuel pump is just pumping diesel right into it. It's also only an 8-valve motor, and it's got a pretty simple turbo system that is shown to be pretty reliable, with their turbos being made by Garrett. And speaking of turbos, do these motors have anything to offer in the performance department? Well, the answer is yes. But maybe not as much as their gasoline counterparts. But if you're into diesels, then you might actually like these motors better. Now listen, stock these motors are really slow. We're talking about 90 horsepower and 155 pound-feet of torque, and we timed our 0 to 60 at about 12 seconds. So yeah, stock they're pretty slow. But changing nothing physically about the engine or the car and just adding a stage 1 tune, you can gain 20 wheel horsepower and 33 foot-pounds of torque for 110 wheel horsepower and 188 foot-pounds of torque, which is quite good, and you will definitely notice that, especially starting out with only 90 horsepower. Now, just adding injectors, you can move up to 122 wheel horsepower and 228 foot-pounds of torque, and you will definitely feel that 230 foot-pounds of torque on the road, so much so that you might need a new clutch. And if you go big enough on the injectors, you can actually get up to 134 wheel horsepower and 235 foot-pounds of torque. Now, if you want to go all the way and swap the turbo along with the injectors and get a new map sensor, you can make up to 153 wheel horsepower and 273 foot-pounds of torque. I told you, these diesels make a lot of torque. And beyond that, there's tons and tons of mods that you can add out there. And on stock internals, people don't really recommend going above 200 horsepower because that is a lot of torque. Most people will say 200 horsepower really isn't a lot, or 150 horsepower really isn't a lot. But when you're making 250 to 300 foot-pounds of torque, believe me, you will definitely feel that. That's about how much torque my Mk6 GTI makes at stage 2 with stock turbo. And it feels like a lot. Now, the crazy upside to all of this is that people get good gas mileage at stage 3 or stage 2 or whatever they're at. In fact, their gas mileage is better than stock, up to 55 miles to the gallon if they're not beating on it. Pretty shocking stuff. And all of this with legendary reliability. So at this point you might be thinking, I want one of these. I want to get one. Well, they're definitely out there, but most of them are pretty roughed up. Finding a clean one is going to be a challenge, and you might need to fix one up a little bit, as a lot of people drive these to 200, something thousand miles, and then they get a leak or something and they decide they want to sell it. On the upside, they are very cheap, ranging from about $2,000 to $3,500 with anywhere from 150,000 to 300,000 miles. And like I said, these motors can go 400, 500,000 miles as long as you do proper maintenance and you check to make sure you don't have a bad motor before you buy the car. Now, I will mention, and you might have seen from this video, they do kind of sound like tractors. And diesels are also a little bit smelly and a little bit smoky, but at the end of the day, if you need a really cheap and reliable economic car, you really can't go wrong with these earlier TDIs. And plus, if you're into cars, there are options to make them more powerful. Just make sure you do your research and make sure you find one that's not entirely rotted out or doesn't have a junk motor or transmission. I would seriously recommend only buying manual transmission variants. But yeah, everyone, I hope you enjoyed my video. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and leave a comment if you have any suggestions. But I am Matt Pierce, or Mk6 Matt, and I will see you guys in another video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.